King of all blacks, you're on the air.
Good morning, good morning. Hey, Howard, I always wanted to know, I asked the rabbi, but he was talking about, I don't know what he was talking about, but why don't Jews eat pork?
Jews don't eat pork because, well, the real reason, it's in the Bible, but the real reason is the Bible was written by a guy. I hope people understand that it wasn't written by God. I mean, So
it was written by people who know God.
Back when the Bible was written, man was very much out of control. So what they did was, the Bible was like a little morality story to get men under control, to quit raping women and to quit, burning down villages, and they wanted to give them guilty consciences.
Quit sodomizing.
Right. So, they created heaven so people would be scared that once they die. So one of the things that the Bible was also based on was what was going on health-wise at the time, and pigs would carry something called trichinosis. And pigs were very unhealthy because they weren't, they carried worms and this kind of thing. So they put in the Bible almost these kosher laws. In the Jewish religion, they put in these laws to really regulate man so that he wouldn't be spreading disease and all this other stuff.
And getting sick himself. Right.
So it came down that Jews couldn't eat anything with a cloven foot, a hoof.
Cloven hoof.
Cloven hoof.
Oh.
Cloven hoof means, how pigs have three little separations in the hoof? That's cloven. Yeah. And there's a whole bunch of other things like shellfish and other things that you can't eat. You can't mix meat and milk because what it was, I think, was a lot of milk products were bad. It was all based on what was going on, where people were at health-wise, and where our dietary laws come from. We're strictly just trying to get shit under control. But now it doesn't make any sense. I mean, most Jews eat pork. Most Jews aren't kosher. That's very rare.
Benji is grossed out by pork.
I'm grossed out by pork because pigs are so evolved.
But I thought it's not a religious thing, Benji, right? It's just...
This one that I know...
We're talking to Benji?
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right,
just being honest.
Thanks, Artie.
I'm sorry.
No, I know it's not logical, but it does gross me out, yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Right.
But this rabbi I know, he's real strict. Like, his wife has a bald head with a wig on.
Yeah, a lot of real...
Are they bald under there?
A lot of super religious... I mean, there's all kinds of Jews, and I never understood it. Like, there's Reform Jews who are practically not Jews. Like, these are Jews that are really Christian.
Right, that's what I call the Reform Jews.
Reform Jews. I mean,
Jews for Jesus?
Like, the first time my aunt belonged to a Reform temple when I was a kid, and I was shocked because my parents belonged to, like, a conservative temple. And I went, and there was a choir...
Which is verboten, too, right?
Well,
You're not supposed to have a choir?
The only place I ever saw that was a church. I was pretty sure I was in a church.
But why can't you sing in the temple?
No, you could sing in the temple.
But they usually have the choir somewhere else.
Yeah, you know what? You got me. I don't know.
They're not usually, like in a church, they're right there. In the temple, they're usually up above somewhere.
Reform is the closest thing to being Christian that you can be if you're Jewish, and it's fun, and like they want to make it fun for kids.
Yeah, I think they do the Mass in Latin.
Yeah, because like my kids love the Jewish religion because it's fun. I mean, who ever made it fun? I went to a temple with my parents. It was so disgusting. Anyone who would go there would never want to be a Jew. It was so goddamn boring and so meaningless and such a waste of time.
Try sitting through the Stations of the Cross.
Well, it was absolute torture, and you learned nothing. You got no religious feeling.
Well, it was supposed to be punitive, too. You were supposed to sit there and be miserable and realize what a wretch you were.
Yeah, it was just horrible. It was all in a foreign language, which made no sense. There's people there who don't speak the language. Everyone could read Hebrew, they didn't understand it. And each Jew is more proud of the next how good he reads Hebrew. Like, I remember when I was bar mitzvahed. Do I have my bar mitzvah tape? Fred, is that in there?
I've never heard that, but I'll take a look.
I had to record it.
You wear yarmulke, too?
Yeah. I had to record it for my grandfather, because my grandfather, who didn't speak English, it was very, very... I was told he was going to be at my bar mitzvah, he was going to sit in the front row, and if he heard any word read wrong, he would be furious.
Oh, dear.
Why do I remember hearing that tape of you?
Yeah, I probably brought it in at one point. Yeah. I'm sure it's around. Scott the engineer might have it. But anyway, and then my other grandfather was down in Florida. He had to hear my big reading of the Torah. The reason it was ludicrous is you're reading something that you don't even know what the fuck you're reading. In other words, you're like, Chavesh Niez, Heim schlecht von jetzt mit Chayachen verhackte. Dich mischu, ach ne
What's not fun about this?
And, you know, you can tell Gilbert was tortured, too. I mean, and the thing was that, and your voice hasn't changed, and you have to get up and sing, and you practice this thing. This is what Hebrew school was. This shows you how retarded fucking religion is. You'd go there, and for years, you would study this Torah portion, just what Gilbert was doing there. And you would study it, you had no idea what the fuck it meant.
Nobody ever told you.
The head Jew teaching you how to read it smelled to high hell.
Oh.
I mean, I remember the guy who taught me, he had breath that would knock, it smelled like if somebody ate a shit sandwich. And then...
How do some people get that?
Drank liquid shit to swish it all down with. And then for dessert, instead of chocolate, had a big shit cake.
And nobody ever tells them.
No, well, you're a kid, and you sit there next to him, and you get woozy and headachy because the guy stinks so bad.
But I'm just saying, they're around adults at some point during the day. Nobody will tell them.
I don't know, man.
Well, the other adults smell the same way.
This fucking character, I mean, this guy, and he'd go, Tzvi.
That was your name?
Yeah, and by the way, Howard has no translation into Hebrew, so they gave me the shittiest name, too. Everything about it was shit.
Shvi was your name?
Tzvi. Not even Shvi. Shvi would be fine. It was Tzvi. And you had to say Tzvi. And so he'd go, Tzvi. Yes, sir?
This is like the mob with bad names, bad nicknames.
Tzvi, let me hear you do the Haftarah. And then he'd breathe on me with his shit breath. And then I begin my song. And it'd be like, no, Tzvi. And I'd be like, you motherfucker, what am I doing? And it became so important because my grandfather was my grandfather was like senile. This is the grandfather was running through the old age home, screaming, where was his $3 million?
And you had to make sure you didn't make a mistake.
Yeah, for him. All these guys were all important to me. All these characters that were somehow related to my father or my mother. All these mishkites who fucking sit there and they're going to evaluate me. I mean, talk about pressure. I was going to shit my fucking pants. And then I remember I had a hot girlfriend when I was 13. It was before my face changed and, before I became so gorky looking. I was actually kind of cute up until the age of 13. Yeah, I had a really hot girlfriend, and she was coming to my bar mitzvah from Far Rockaway. My girlfriend, Irene. Uh-huh. And she walks in, and I'm singing the song. She fucking got rid of me.
No,
motherfucker. And then there's words that sound like shit.
It almost sounds like you're singing backwards.
Shit. I mean, it was unbelievable. And each word had to be pronounced. And then they'd go, when you learn Hebrew, they put vowels underneath the words. But for your bar mitzvah, no vowels are allowed. You have to read without vowels. It's as if someone said to you, now I'm going to train you to read English without the letters A, E, I, O, U.
Okay.
Okay? That you have to learn even a harder way of doing it. And it was absurd. All of these rules. And
what was the purpose?
Nothing, because I got nothing out of it. You know what? I became anti-Semitic. That was the purpose. Turned me off to the whole fucking religion. Wanted nothing to do with Jews and the religion.
Let's hear the Torah. Heil Hitler.
I was like, wow, I was born into this. I mean, what? This is insanity. This is insanity.
I'll be a Jew whether I can read this or not.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they'll march me into the oven. I'd be like, excuse me, Mr. Hitler, I don't even agree with this.
It's fun.
I don't want to read without vowels.
Mr. Hitler.
Excuse me, please.
Can I say something, Rex Marshall?
From right to left.
Mr. Goebbels, can I say one thing? I don't believe in this shit.
You don't have my actual bar mitzvah tape?
I couldn't find it. I went under bar mitzvah. I went under family tapes. I went under religious. So unless it's listed under something I don't know.
A high little voice. My voice hadn't changed, and it's like,
you got to go find that again.
I mean, you never heard such nonsense. And it was,
but I noticed.
And it was a year or two of nonsense, of learning this portion. And Really, I wish I had studied guitar instead of that. I mean, I could have been a rock star.
They forced you to do this, you know.
There was no question.
You could quit everything else.
Yeah, and my sister, being a girl, she didn't have to. My sister was smart. She was just like, I don't want to do that. I don't want a bar mitzvah. They go, you don't? No. She got a sweet 16. It was a fun party. We had Hawaiian luau night.
Oh, no secret languages, nothing.
I got to dance with all my sister's friends. They were 4 years older than me. They had full titties.
And you were probably at that height.
Yeah.
Were you
I was at titty height. I was just at titty height. Imagine me at titty height. That was the perfect height. I wanted to just stop right there. My sister's sweet 16. It was great.
And then like on Saturdays, they all park the car, leave the cars home, and they walk to the synagogue in sneakers.
Well, you're talking about there's Reform, which are practically Christians, and the conservative, which is like real strict.
Yes.
And then, if that's not strict enough for you, then you can go to be Orthodox.
Yeah, I didn't realize that conservative and Orthodox Orthodox is another level.
Oh, and Orthodox is so whacked out. I can't even imagine, like the men and the women have to sit separately, and women are covered up, and then you got those Hasidim, which is a super Jews squared to the 10th power.
They're like Jewish Quakers. That's how I
like Jews don't even like them. You know what I mean?
The one with the diamonds. Who's the one?
That's the Hasidim.
Yeah. They don't like to speak to you. Like if you
well, you're a Schwartz Adam. Please.
I could tell a super Jewish person because they don't speak to you. I don't know.
Yeah, because you're not chosen.
Huh?
You're not a chosen person.
You're a Schwartz Adam.
You're a Schwartz Adam.
Now, is he right? They don't have to shave their heads under those wigs.
I think some of the women do wear wigs, and that's a whole cult that I don't even
There's
follow.
something about not showing your hair.
Yeah, don't ask me what that is.
No, because there's no scalp. You could tell, like, they look like they have cancer. You could tell.
No. They have hair.
No, they have actual cancer.
No, you could tell because they don't. Some of them don't even have eyebrows.
Well, I think the conservatives, not even the Hasidim, the conservatives, they can't fuck a broad unless they cut a hole in the sheet or something.
I've heard that, but I don't know that that's actually true.
There's so many rules and so many different things. If you really want to get into religion, it can keep you busy and occupied your entire life.
But I've seen, there are, people who live right here in New York. They make their own clothing, and everybody, like you see the kids and all the girls are wearing the same outfit.
Hasidim.
Yeah.
See, but like my kids love religion because they went to a Reform situation, and it's
not that bad.
They love it.
Yeah.
They're like turned on to it because it was in English and it was explained to them what was being said, and they have this religious feeling.
Yeah, but that's why I do admire them on some point, but they have some type of rules. But like blacks, when they go to with their Christians or Baptists or whatever, they do every fucking thing they want.
Blacks seem to have just taken religion and formed their own thing.
It's made it into entertainment. People go there, you get a show.
Yeah, black people aren't going to sit through boring shit. They're going to sit there and they go, listen, we want like a Beyonce type getting up and doing songs. We want tambourine. We want
we need electricity because we have a band.
Yeah. I go to the rock when I need shelter.
But that's like Reform Jews. They do the fun things too. They have fun. They bring in like hippie guitar players, and they have female rabbis who sing nice songs. And
but why the poorest? I've been noticing since I was 8 years old because I didn't grow up poor. The poorest black people, they are the most religious. Why would you be religious and you have nothing?
When you have nothing, the only thing you can have is religion.
Yeah, think about it, man. When you're in a foxhole, you pray to God, you know?
And it's like, think about it.
You do the things that are free.
Yeah, it's free entertainment. It's like you go there, it's social. Sometimes they hand out free stuff. It's like getting to be on Oprah.
Yeah.
It's a remarkable experience if you're poor, and it gives you a sense of community, and also it gives you a sense of hope that how sad, this world isn't working out for you, but don't worry, the next life you're going to be living like a king.
Absolutely.
And,
right.
Yeah, don't have a good time here, whatever the fuck you do.
Yeah, and also, thank God for that, because can you imagine if poor people didn't have religion? They'd be running through the streets killing people. It's great. If we can keep poor people feeling guilty and worrying about the afterlife, Well, then everything will be copacetic.
Oh, that was part of the deal with slavery, too.
Yeah.
You know, you told everybody, hey, your reward for this miserable life will come in heaven.
Right.
Just keep suffering.
It's like, it's so funny. These Arab guys who have been told they're going to get 70 virgins if they kill themselves feel this life is so bad, they would rather take a shot at getting the 70 virgins and blowing themselves up. Imagine your life is that bad. So, religion works out for a lot of people.
And how do you fight against that?
Right,
you can't. You have to admit that somebody had to create. Forget about humans, because that makes you don't believe in God. But you have to.
I didn't say I didn't believe in God. I said to you, religion is a bunch of horseshit.
Do you believe in God?
I don't know. I want to. It's weird. Like, every time I sit here and go, oh, I believe, there's got to be,
I know.
I don't fucking know. You know what? Who the fuck knows? Here's how I'm playing it. I figure this is it.
Well, look, here's how I figure it. Einstein believed in God.
That's good.
He was the smartest guy around. I'm going to take his word for it.
My mom, if you talk to her, she can give you a really good argument that there's reincarnation. She's got the whole thing figured out.
Yeah, my mother talks that shit, too.
Yeah, but then again, she's getting ready to see what's going on.
Yeah, you need it more. The older you get, the closer you come to wanting to believe.
Right, but she's always kind of believed since, yeah.
My father told me he made peace with God, and because he was always an atheist, my old man. Like, he was. My mother was real religious, but he would always go, "There's nothing up there." And at the end, Monsignor would see him, and my father at the end said, "Yeah, Art, I think I'm at peace with where I'm going." I said, yeah, exactly. I think he got for the first time in his life scared shitless and found peace with God.
That's when they come to God, when they get scared or when they get off drugs and all that bullshit.
Yeah, and if God was human, he would be pissed.
See, I believed in God when I was on drugs.
Right.
now
Life seemed good.
Now the greatest argument for God, though, and I think the king here was saying this, is where all this began.
Right.
How did we go from mud to, Howard texting American Idol?
Listen, you want the answer whether there's a God or not. Do what I do. Ask Fred.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's go over to Fred.
Fred?
Hold it. Let's give him his music.
Okay.
We'll find out if Fred believes in God. If Fred does, then we'll know there's a God. Hold on. Here it is. Now you're going to have the answer.
Finally.
Finally, mankind will know the answer.
He's a Fred, he's wonderful Fred. 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 He's wonderful, wonderful Fred.
All right, Fred, what's your answer?
A personal God, a guy who sits up in the sky and looks down on you and says, you live, you die? No.
Okay. So
well, what
is
kind
there?
of God is
There
it?
might be some sort of intelligence out there. We just don't know what it is. But this is a face everybody wants to put on this deity so that everybody can sleep well at night.
So you're saying that when we die, and there is nothing else.
That's it.
There's no afterlife.
That's
nothing.
it.
All right,
We've
Fred,
done our time. We've
what
become
about-
worm food, but we live on through our heirs. We live on by providing nutrition for the soil and the plants and birds and whatever.
Okay, so you're buying that's your explanation for the energy cannot be created or destroyed?
Energy.
Theory?
That is Fred's theory.
But energy can get converted.
Right.
See, when my body decomposes or whatever, that energy turns into another sort of
What
energy.
about the energy that animates you?
You mean Hanna-Barbera?
No.
Your soul.
You have a body that moves and does all this stuff.
This is
Where does
correct.
that energy go? It thinks. Where does that energy go?
We don't know.
No.
And
Not
you
even
believe
Fred
No,
knows.
we don't know. But that
So
doesn't
you're
mean
saying
that it
there
doesn't
is-
go somewhere.
There is no God.
There's no God. There's no happy guy in the sky, or there's no evil guy in the sky.
either.
Depends on which testament you believe.
All right, thank you, Fred. All right, that's it from Fred. Now you have your answer.
So I'm sorry to Benji because I know he believes in his God.
He's a Fred,
Good for you,
he's
Fred.
wonderful Fred.
All right, you get it. Yeah, you get it.
Fucking Benji.
All right, thank you, King. I got to